Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The cost of living crisis is very real for many Australians. Many people are feeling this with their power bills, with their insurance premiums and, of course, at the supermarket with their grocery bills. There is no doubt that we have a high concentration of market control in relation to supermarket chains, with Woolies taking 37% of the market share and Coles 28%. Research from the Grattan Institute in 2017 concluded that a few large sectors, such as banking, have become more concentrated, while others, such as supermarkets, had become less concentrated over a period of time, and they used in that case the example of the expansion of Aldi over 2 decades to a 10% market share. Other measures of competitive pressure have not changed much, and the Grattan Institute concluded the profitability of firms in Australia has not risen much significantly since 2000 and become more dispersed. But competition in our retail industries is good for consumers. And what we have at the moment is really a situation with insufficient competition. And so we must look at what are the drivers, what has brought us to that place. It is basic market economics. Competition protects consumers from price gouging and colluding. Still, it's vital that the ACCC be empowered to do its job to ensure that there is no market collusion, anti-competitive conduct, price gouging or third-line forcing. So here we are. Food prices have risen sharply in the last 3 years, fuelling cost of living pressures and food insecurity. Analysis by UBS in late 2023 found that food prices at Coles and Woolies increased by some 9.6% over the previous 12 months. That is considerable. Some 3.7 million Australian households experienced food insecurity in 2023, 10% more than in 2022. That is quite outstanding to think that so many households in Australia, a developed nation, a wealthy nation by most standards, and so many households feeling food insecurity. The supermarket chains claimed that such price rises are due to factors beyond their control. Inflation and higher wholesale prices, i.e. the cost of a product from the manufacturer to the retailer, and we have 6 inquiries running simultaneously right now to look at this. In particular, the ACCC inquiry is focusing on the assessment of competition and how items are priced. Importantly, also reviewing the practice of specials, which are often misleading in how they induce consumers into thinking they are getting a deal when in fact proposing a higher individual price. The competition review by Treasury is also looking at several retail sectors, including the supermarkets. So we have a lot of inquiries going on. I know the Treasury is also looking at the Food and Grocery Code of Conduct, with the key question being whether to make the Code of Conduct mandatory. And I think that is an important aspect that the government must grapple with and be courageous, once we have all these inquiries, to actually take action to ensure a much better Food and Grocery Code of Conduct. Ultimately, it would result in the ACCC having stronger powers of enforcement and include financial penalties for non-compliance. And that would go some way to addressing the power imbalance between producers and supermarkets and ensure producers are getting a competitive wholesale price for their stock and produce. So I welcome the announcements today, I think from pressure, from this debate, from the discussions, from, for example, Woolies in relation to now reducing the price of some over 400 items. But it begs the question, why has it taken so long, and is it the public pressure that is now forcing that? So it's clear accountability and visibility on this matters, and it's so important for the government to play its role and for the ACCC to play its role. We have to look at where this is all heading. Food prices, insurance costs, climate impacts, this is all disrupting, and we know it is only going to make the cost of living more and more expensive. We know food prices through bushfires, record high temperatures and floods. A 2022 report by Farmers for Climate Action concluded drought is becoming more frequent and production is affected by lower crop yields, livestock stress and higher operational costs. So we know that there are many drivers that impact when it comes to these products. And so, whilst there is an argument that operation costs may have risen for the supermarket chains, there is also must be analysis of recent record profits delivered by supermarket giants, and so we know we must have that accountability and scrutability. Competition is working if there is a balance between companies returning a profit, it is a free market, but not at the expense of consumers being gouged due to lack of alternative options. So maintaining competition is vitally important, and I urge the government to